Welcome to GIS Gallery. In today's tutorial, I'll show you how to create and explore 3D visualizations in QGIS. We'll dive into how to view, explore, and share geographic features in 3D, and I'll also cover working with multipatch layers and 3D buildings. Without further ado, let's get started.
Hello guys, so today we will see how we can do 3D visualization in QGIS. Okay, so as you all know, we need some kind of elevation data, right, to view the things in 3D. So for now we are working with this dump data. Okay, so first I'll just set its symbology so that we could better visualize it. So I'll be setting layer under type as single and pseudo color, and I'll be setting a color one which can be used to visualize it much better. So for now, I'll be setting this turbo. Okay, so I think it's much better to visualize using this kind of symbology. And then also we can also have some kind of vector layer that can overlay these dump data, right? So for that, I'll be doing something like I can create contours from here. So I'll be doing the contour that is in GIS raster extraction. So I'll be setting contour. Then I'll input the dump data here. And then if you see here, we can see that the elevation ranges from 42 to something like 1700, right? So I can give a contour value of something about 300, alright? And yeah, so I'll just run it and it will create contour values from here. And this contour should be a vector layer. So you see here, it has created contours and then it will be a vector layer. Now I can set the attributes, set the labeling for these contours. So then I'll just set get the properties of the contour, set label, set single label, and then I'll set the value as LM. So if you remember, we set this field for the elevation values. I click on apply and OK. Now if you see, it has been created the labeling for all the elevation values of the contours. Similarly, I'll also have a hill shade to just overlay on top of the dump. So I'll click on hill shade and then I'll set the elevation layer as the dump data and let it be the azimuth and vertical angle. And I'll just run this. And now I'll just go to the fill shade properties. I'll go to the transparency and I'll set it something like the 25 apply. Okay. So as I've created the fill shade, I can just set it or I'll just the dump. So you know what? I'll just the fill shade as it is, and then I'll just reduce the transparency of the dump data. Okay. So set the hill shade of the dump, and then for the dump, I'm reducing the transparency. So I'll be setting it something like this. Maybe, yeah, I think that's better. And I will click OK. And on the contours also, I'll set it over the fill shade. So if you can see, it has created the contour and I set the texture using the fill shade over the dump symbology. Now we will see how we can view this in 3D. To view this in 3D, you have to install a plugin. So if you go to manage and install plugins, you can search for QGIS to 3JS. Okay, this is the plugin. So if you install it and then if you come out to the web, you have option called QGIS to 3JS. And then you can just click on the exporter file to 3JS exporter. I'll be able to get all the layers that's in here. So I have all the layers here. And now I can enable the dump data to visualize it here. So now you can see it has been visualized in 3D. And now if you want to save settings, you can actually change the amount of exaggeration. So I'll be setting it something like 5. Let me see apply and see the changes. I think it's a bit too much. I'll set it something like 3. I think that's much better. So I could use my mouse wheel to zoom in, zoom out, right button to kind of pan it around, and then my mouse left click to move the orientation. Alright, so I can move it using my right click and then change the orientation using my left click. You also have an option to set a point. So something like I'll be setting, if I click once, I can set a point here. And then I could just like measure distance from somewhere, all those things. Or I could just set it and set it for orbit. Now, in regards to or relate to where I get the point, it will sort of create a orbiting animation. Okay. So this is one method. You could actually have a 3D visualization, and also you can measure these things. So if I click it down here, I know something called measure distance. You can just draw points and then measure. And if I right click, those points will be removed. So I can see how much distance there is from that point to this point. I show you the distance and then the vertical difference of all those things. Now using this view, I can also set some kind of animations. So if you see here, it's animation, there are no keyframes groups to play. So for that, you can just press on, go to zoom level, I can click on a plus. So it will add a keyframe group. I just press down there and then I'll just go here and do another keyframe. Then I could just move over here, press another keyframe, and then zoom out total, and then press another keyframe. And now, if I click on perform the check the animation parallel, it will do the animation in which I created the keyframes. Okay, this is how you can visualize and animate the 3D visualization of a raster layer. And after you are done with the 3D view, you can actually save it as a web file. So if you go to File and Export to Web, you can give a location to save the file. I'll just give a, okay, I'll select the folder and then I can give out the name. Okay, and we have to enable the viewer to run locally, and now I can just export it. Now it has been completed. Now if I just go to this folder, you can see that the usage has been completed. Now I can actually view this file from on a browser as a file. Okay, close this one. And one thing you can also visualize buildings in video. So I'll just remove all this. And if I zoom the layer, now you can see that I have some building footprints of in this area. Then I can now visualize this in 3D. For that, first I need to set its parameters. I'll go to properties. So before that, I'll just see. Okay. So to visualize this in 3D, you can go to layer, now go to view, and then you have 3D map view, and then you can create a new 3D map view. Click on that, you can create a new 3D map view here. And now if I can set the properties of that. So I'll just go to my, let me see if I can actually, okay. So I'll go to properties in here, and in the 3D view of your footprints, I can set something like single cylinder, and then for you it will be 0 here. So if you have some kind of attribute in your for the shapefile of elevation data, you can just click on here, go to field in type, and then you can set whatever the field. So the fields in attribute table, if you have elevation field, you can set it from here. Since I don't have it, I can just set a random value for my building height. So I'll just give 30, and then I can give the shaded something like, yeah, realistic, that will be like that. And I'll apply, and I'll just okay. Okay. So now the 3D view has been applied to this buildings. Now I can just tilt it over like here. Okay. Now you can set a 3D view like this. Okay. You can use this views to move it around. You can set the arrow to set the view settings. You can tilt it up or tilt it down. Okay. And you could also use your mouse scroll wheel to change the orientation. Similarly, you can also have the animations in here. So if you click the play button here, it's called animations. You can have a default animation here, which is this zoom out. Just as we did for the last time, you can also do things here. So if you zoom in here, another keyframe, you can give some keyframe and then zoom out. And then we can add another keyframe at like 10 seconds. Now if I play this, you can see that an animation has been created.